So my name is Julie Chrystler, and I'm currently the director of Reimagine Africa. So Imagine Creativity Center is a group of programs, one including Reimagine Africa, that works with companies, organizations, and governments to help bring disruptive innovation and solutions for social impact. So the importance of innovation in Africa and in any country, really, to be honest, is a lot of times companies are very focused on, the needs that they have right now, and they're not able to kind of step aside and innovate. So we come in and we can help companies to do disruptive innovation. So we take them out of their current context. We expose them to, in the case of Africa, for example, to 4 different countries across the continent. They're working in multidisciplinary teams that are also coming from different countries, both in Africa and outside of Africa. So it's really helping them to really be creative and to think of new ideas to challenges that maybe they've always seen in the same way, but they haven't been able to advance. So a lot of times companies have great innovation departments, but they don't take the time or they don't have the means to actually facilitate something disruptive and fast. And that's where we can come in and help. My personal journey isn't the reason why we're here with Reimagine Africa. So the reason that we're here with Reimagine Africa is actually from a colleague of ours called Mamadou. So Mamadou is originally from Senegal. When he was 16, his parents sent him to Spain to basically start a new life. So they thought that it was a better place to be in Europe than it was to be in Africa, and they wanted the best for their son. So they sent him on his own, on a boat, to Spain. So he was a lucky one. He was able to get a scholarship from a bank. He was able to study. He did his IT studies. He got another scholarship from another bank to be part of a social project in Barcelona, which then led him to Imagine Silicon Valley. So Imagine, again, is what I said before, was it's a group of different programs. The main program that we have, or the program that started all of Imagine, is from Silicon Valley. He participated last year in Silicon Valley as a dreamer. And so he really felt transformed, he felt inspired, and he said, my dream is to bring this to Africa, to inspire people to innovate locally, so that they don't need to go to Spain, they don't need to leave, but they can innovate locally where they are. And so the reason that we're doing Imagine Africa is because of Mamadou, to make his dream come true and to really inspire people locally to innovate. So for me personally, Africa has been, especially in the last few years, really a place of inspiration and of just wanting to get knowledge and wanting to learn more. So I left my job last year. I've been working in CSR and working in IT education for the last 8 years, IT education and entrepreneurship. And I just really wanted to take a break and to do something different. And so I was contacting my colleagues in Africa saying, how can I help? Do you have events coming up? What can I do? And ended up starting off in Kenya with a ticket from there and a ticket back from Dakar, and just said, let's see what happens along the way. I also have a good friend working for the African Development Bank in Abidjan, so I kind of visit her, go and see what's going on. So I spent almost a month in Kenya just researching what's going on in EdTech, what's going on in startups. It was amazing because I spent every day with a packed agenda of going to places that I wanted to visit, learning about initiatives that I wanted to learn about. No one was forcing me to do a PowerPoint or an Excel or a summary afterwards. It was really just pure knowledge, and it was amazing because compared to Europe, I feel like Africa is really a place that people are inspired to make a difference. Maybe it's out of necessity, but people are active and they're doing things and they're wanting to change the way that things are working. And I think that to me is an inspiration for people outside of Africa to see the mentality here is, no, I have actually 2 companies, and I'm only 24, or I'm not waiting, I'm not looking for that job at a company because I know that there aren't enough jobs out there for me. So they're trying to make a difference on their own. That's also a challenge, I think, because I know that entrepreneurs have difficulties getting, funding and getting their business off the ground. But I think the mentality is something that's really inspirational, and that can be spread outside of Africa. And I think that I've always loved to travel. I've traveled all over the world, and I think it's where I learned the most. So to me, coming to Africa was a place to learn. It then ended up turning into different opportunities to a job. I'm also a volunteer for Women in Tech Africa, just to get the word out in social media to try and raise awareness around STEM education. Again, because I have a STEM education background, doing what I can where I can to really just inspire people to innovate and to be creative and to go down lines where the world needs more engineers, they need more people in technology. So doing my part, I don't have a technological background, but doing what I can to be a part of the movement. How would I reimagine Africa? So it's interesting. There's a lot of different ways that I would reimagine things, I think, in Africa and again, all over the world. But specifically here, I think you kind of go back and forth between what's the foundation. Is it education or is it healthcare? Because you have to be healthy to study, but then you have to have studies to be able to improve the healthcare system. But to me, I think education is very important. And I think that I would reimagine in Africa where there was education for all, equality in education, access to education. I think that the more educated a society, the better the society will grow. And I think that that's a key area. So getting education, getting kids the latest materials, getting them the technology to be able to learn in an environment and grow at the rate that the rest of the world is growing. Your objective for this year is obviously to create a successful Imagine Africa. So to me, a successful Imagine Africa is to bring in companies that are putting forth challenges that will have social impact and leave impact in the continent. So my goal would be, on one side, to make an impact with the prototypes and with the solutions that were designed, but then also to make an impact in the lives of the 12 participants that will be going through the program, not only on a business level and on a innovation knowledge level, but on a cultural exchange level, because the beauty of the trip is also that we're putting people from different cultures together. They're learning from each other, and I think to create a community, if at all possible, I would love to see a community formed out of this group of dreamers that they can carry on and have these contacts together in the future. Perfect. So in order to deliver on the objective, we need companies to put forth challenges. So companies that are interested in innovating, that they have a project that needs acceleration, or they have an idea that they want to put out there and put forward. So that would be number one. Number two is that we also look for the individuals. So we look for dreamers. So companies that want to use a training fund to put someone out there and to basically give them the opportunity to learn through the innovation process. They want to sponsor a university student. They give the opportunity to someone to really go through and to be a part of the process. And then number three is that we're also looking for local collaboration. We're looking for mentors, for experts. We want to get feedback from the local community on the ideas and on the prototypes that are being developed so that we know if they're viable, so that we understand in the local environment, does this make sense? How would you improve it? We're looking for people that will be in the industries of the areas that we're working in that can really give that valuable insight on the ground. So my commitment to Africa for the year ahead is to really have a successful Imagine Africa, because I feel that if we can work with the right companies, work on the right challenges in a way that are really going to leave an impact in the country and leave an impact beyond, not only with the actual prototypes and the actual solutions developed, but again with the people that are participating and the network that they can have beyond, that to me would be a success. And so my commitment is really to see that this program happens this year and that it comes back in the future and that we can repeat every year and to have an impact and to encourage people to innovate and to have a scalable impact, so that it's not only those that are in the actual program, but they can go on and inspire others in their community. So I would like to say that I'm excited to help our colleague to make his dream come true, and I would encourage people to look into Imagine Africa and also to send in their nominations as a dreamer. We also have an open nomination process through our foundation. So we also take in applications and we put people forward that would make a good complement to the teams. So I would say if you're a mentor, if you're a dreamer, you want to be a dreamer, to contact us. If you're a company that wants to innovate, to contact us. And really, let's make this happen.